Hello, YouTube. ZiggyNo back with another video. In this one, I'm going to talk about my top 10 rules for sports card collecting, investing, whatever you want to call it. These are my top 10 rules. I look forward to your comments, your feedback, your thoughts, and I'm always open to modifying, adjusting, or changing the rules, right? But I think these are 10 good, solid rules that if you follow these rules, these will take you through a great enjoyment of the hobby, whether you're a collector, investor, or a flipper or whatever the heck it might be, whatever you might be doing. So again, pay attention. Love your feedback, love your comments. Hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, please take a few moments and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want content, although your bell will go off every day. I understand that can be overwhelming because, well, I just have a lot to talk about. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the rules. First rule off, we'll start off with ZiggyNo's sports card rules. Rule number 1, hobby advice. Hobby advice, hobby advice. This is a very important rule. Consider the source. When you come into the hobby, you will get a lot of advice. The hobby is a fun place. In fact, the one thing we love in the hobby is most of us love to talk, right? We love to talk about sports. We love to give our opinions. We love to give you advice. Now, remember, there's a great quote on this. Let me see if I can find this quote. I think I did this on a video last year. Yeah, this is rule number 1, hobby advice. And I love this quote. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it is worth. Man, that is such a clever comment. I love that. But I also say this, sometimes that source will use those stories. You have to understand what the source was, right? So if I'm watching a show who's a breaker, he's going to tell me great stories about cards and breaks and great products. And it's probably going to sound like every product is better than the next one. Man, this one's on fire. This one's hot. It's good advice. You get good advice, but consider the source. What is a source? Why are they giving you that advice? So rule number 1, hobby advice, always consider the source. Even consider me, like why are you listening to Ziggy, right? I want to be an impartial, unbiased, unpaid, giving you advice because it's just kind of the way I see it or what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing or what the community is talking about. That's the advice I want to give you. But always consider the source of the advice. And remember, the hobby is very friendly. So sometimes we think every piece of advice is fair and great, and that's not always the case. Next one I'll talk about is knowledge of product is key. Now, I can't stress this enough. In fact, if I go back to the first one, I should say knowledge in general is important, and that's why hobby advice is so important, right? So knowing when things are going to happen can actually make you money, right? Knowing when Walmart's going to stock, knowing when Topps is going to drop a product, knowing when the next NFT is being released, those things impact your ability to get product, get access, make money, lose money, whatever it might be, advice. So knowledge of the product is probably one of the most important things that I think was really underappreciated in the last year, right? We didn't need to know the product. We just went out and bought everything. Everything was important. You should always understand what the product is. Product knowledge is key, and product knowledge is free. You can find it on the manufacturer's websites, Topps, Panini, Upper Deck. They put out product knowledge. Also great resources like Cardboard Connection, which will break down the knowledge for you or break down the information, the checklists, the refractors, the inserts, whatever that might be in there. There's also breaking checklists, group break checklists, which will give you information. But the reason I say product knowledge is important is that because it's there, if you are breaking with somebody or buying cards from someone and they don't know the product, that should be a yellow flag, right? They should, if they are making a living in this hobby, then they should know the product. And that's why I think you'll find some of the best people in the hobby really know the product. They know the knowledge. They can explain to you, and not only explain, say it to you, won't just baffle you with, red wizard wave refractor knowledge. They will explain to you the difference between why this is a red and what a red means in one product versus like in red in Topps is numbered to 5, right? Gold in Topps is numbered to 50 normally. Gold in Panini is numbered to 10. These are product things you need to understand and very, very important. So big rule, understand product knowledge. And the knowledge is out there. It's freely accessible. And there are experts who can help you differentiate. Forums are another great place you can get information on this knowledge. Number 3, why are you buying and what is your exit strategy? And what I mean by this is, why are you buying something? Whether it's a box, a break, a card, a slab, whatever it might be, why are you buying it? I know a lot of people love to say, well, I buy what I buy, because I'm making money, but I want to keep it in case things go bad. Well, I don't think that's a good way to think about things. You really should think about why you're buying in the first place, right? If you're buying because it's a PC card, a card that you really like, that you plan to have for years, you're going to display, or really you're not looking to sell, that's a collection, that's a PC item. And we know what those items are. There's certain things that make that PC like they don't have a value on them, right? And then there are items that you're buying because you are a spectator. I mean, a speculator, right? In fact, one of the best examples of this is just simply, you want to prove to your buddy you know more about sports than he does. So you're like, dude, I'm telling you, man, you got to buy Love. Love is going to be the best quarterback, blah, blah, blah. So how do you prove that to him? You go out and buy Love cards. So when Love does really well, you can sell them and go like your buddy, remember I told you Love was great? Dude, I made thousands on Love. Not saying that's the best way to do it, but that's an example of why you might be buying cards. I think some of it is a little bravado, right? So think about why you're buying cards. Also, I will tell you this, everybody, when you buy a card, should have an exit strategy in your head. You should know when you buy the card. Now, again, you can change the strategy, but if you buy without having a strategy, you put yourself in danger here. So in other words, when I buy a card for $100, I'm going to 2x this. And that means when it hits $200, I'm going to sell it. I'm not going to go, oh man, I sold it at 200 and it went to 1,000. I'm an idiot. No, you hear what I say? Can't go broke taking profits, right? If you know your exit and it's a profitable exit, you're not going to go broke taking that exit. And the hobby is about that kind of natural growth, right? It's not, you're not here to stick the guy with the hottest potato and move on. That's not what the hobby is about. I thought somebody said best at Dallas was, you really want there to be value in the card you sell so the next person has value in that card, right? So for example, if a card is valued on eBay for 1,000 and the guy pays you 1,000 for it, right? It might go up or down, but if he needed $1,000 immediately, would he be able to get $1,000 out of it? Probably not. So you have to think about the valuation when you're buying and your exit strategy. Next one. Okay, these next two I'm going to bring up together here. Okay, I'm going to talk about them both together. Don't buy second-year cards. I mean this. I know there are exceptions to the rule. People are going to talk about, well, Jordan and Trout, and some players you can't afford their rookie year. Okay, fine. If you're doing it for a PC, you're buying that card for a PC for a second-year card, fine. If you're buying it because you think there's an investment value in it, I'm going to just tell you about the opportunity cost. You're basically betting on, like if you're buying Zion Williamson second-year cards right now, you're betting that 15 years from now, when he finishes in the NBA, he's going to be a beast and people are going to look back, oh man, I wish I had one of his rookie cards. I'll go ahead and get a second-year card. So in other words, for the next 11, 15 years, you're holding on to that card and that expectation. That to me is a poor opportunity cost. And if you're selling it 3 years from now, right? If 3 years from now I'm selling a second-year cards, you're basically cashing out on what you now realize is probably not a lucrative investment, not a smart strategy. My point is today, it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to be buying second-year cards. A lot of this goes back to, I'll just simply say this. I remember when I started collecting, you would see these overlaps with rookie year and new year, and you'd see first-year autograph cards getting picked up because people thought they were rookie cards, and they weren't. They were second-year autographs, and they would drop in price, and it would shock me all the time. You'd see like, I don't know, Score would come out with a quarterback and you'd be buying and go, oh man, it's his second year. It's not his rookie autograph. This is back when autographs and relics were valuable and not just shiny. So my point is I felt like a lot of people bought second year stuff because they thought it was rookie year. Not always the case. But today I would tell you opportunity cost. I'd also tie this into number 5. Don't buy shiny vets. Just stop doing it. Really, just stop. Put it as a rule. So look, I don't buy shiny vets anymore. I promise that, yeah, I'm not going to buy shiny vets. And what I'm talking about is, I don't care if LeBron James has a shiny refractor with him doing a dunk. So what? Right? Look, I know you're well, people are paying, man. It's so great. Then sell to those people who are buying that card. If you rip one of those cards, sell it. Don't go out buying that card with the intent you're going to sell it for more. It's such a very difficult market, in my opinion, and could crash because there's really no value in these shiny vet cards. It really isn't. I mean, I'm just going to give you, look, I looked in the future and no one's buying them. I did. I looked in the future. No one is going to be buying these shiny vet cards. There will be very, very rare exception. My grandkids aren't going to be buying a LeBron James silver prism from 2019. Is that right? 2020, whatever, 2019. There's not. They wouldn't do that. There's going to be so many other options, guys. Just don't do that. Stop. Yes, you can sell them. If you get one, great, sell it. I would sell it at a discount, right? If it's going for 70, sell it for 50. Just move on, right? Use the money to get something else. Don't maximize it. It's just not good karma, in my opinion. Do what you want to do, but these are my rules. My rules, I don't buy them, I sell them. I sell second-year cards. I sell shiny vets, and I'm also going to say the same thing with New Jersey cards. If the guy's wearing a jersey for the first time, I don't care. There are a few exceptions. Will the LeBron card with him being in the jersey, a Lakers jersey, be worth money in the future? I don't know, maybe. But the dude has spent so many years at different teams. Isn't Cleveland more likely to have him? I mean, I guess it really depends on who does he go into the Hall of Fame as, right? Is he going to go in the Hall of Fame as a Laker, a Cavalier, a Heat dude? What, he won 2 championships with the Heat, right? Isn't that right? Am I right? Anyway, on the next one. Thank you guys for sticking around. I appreciate it. I feel a sneeze coming. Oh boy. Okay, next one. And this one I bring up especially because of what we're looking at here in 2021 in football. Football is poised to be very, very strong this year. Because of the rookie class, and because of Lawrence. I do think Lawrence is considered a generational like quarterback, like Luck, like Peyton Manning. Not that he'll be as great, but like those people who were drafted. Okay, I just want to remind you, football has the biggest risks and the biggest swings. So be logical in this. Okay, understand emotions. This is an emotional buying week-to-week game. Quarterback does really well, people are buying him on Monday. Quarterback does really bad, they're selling him on Monday. So pay attention to that. In my opinion, it's one of my rules. I only do quarterbacks in football. I should have put that up here. I only do quarterbacks in football. I will sell every other position. People go, oh, Ziggy, this is a year that, Pitts is going to be the breakout non-quarterback, huge rookie. Great. I will sell him all day long. If I have him in a break or open him in a pack, I'm selling him. I'm not grading him. I'm not investing in him. I'm only doing that with quarterbacks. There's 5 good quarterbacks this year, maybe more. I like quarterbacks. I like quarterbacks for about a 6 to 18 month window, depending on how they are doing and what team they're in. Everything else to me, I'm selling. Okay. Also, one other quick tip I'll remind you. College football is even one of the more dangerous sports because college rivalries make a difference. Okay. Tom Brady is awesome, but you're not going to find a lot of Ohio State fans wanting a Tom Brady and a Michigan Wolverine uni. They might do it, but they're not going to like it, right? That's going to impact it, right? If you're an Auburn fan, you're not going to want an Alabama Mac Jones picture, right? It doesn't make a difference if you're a big Patriots fan. Groot, calm down. Sorry, guys. Next one up. Be a skeptic. Be a skeptic. This is a rule. You should always be a skeptic. Everybody comes in the hobby with like these rainbows and unicorns, and you can see the look on their face, like they just found candy at Candyland. Guys, be a skeptic because there are so many. I said this last year. I made a comment last year that I feel like people are being told there's gold in the mountains and no one's telling them about the rattlesnakes and the coyotes and the robbers and everything else that goes on there. Right? There's a lot of that. And the more money and the more people in it, the more of those other people come out. I mentioned there was a scamming case down at the Dallas Card Show where some guy was apparently selling raw Jordans that were fake. I watched a video on somebody recreating 101 printing plates with fake autographs on it. There is just so much fraud in the hobby. I'm sorry. And here's what's really sad, guys. There's very, very little enforcement or penalty. Okay. So be a skeptic. The hobby is not rainbows and unicorns. That is a rule. Sometimes people look at my channel like Ziggy's, he rains on people, he's negative. I've been called the YouTube police. Look, I'm going to call it how I see it. Right. Because again, if you're pitching something, I'm thinking to myself, why are you pitching it? Right. What is in it for you? Or are you doing this really for the community? And then I'm going to wonder what else is happening, right? So I am a skeptic. I'm very skeptical. I'd be skeptical of everything. Also, just be a thinker. Liquidity is hard. This is a rule. This hasn't changed. In fact, right now you're seeing it more and more. All the Dallas shows where, oh man, there's trades going on. Yeah, because there's not liquidity. This is not a stock market. I can't stress this enough. I love some of the analogies to the stock market. Yes, it's an investment. Cards can go up in value. They can go down in value. You can look at charts. But guys, this is not a commodity. This is not a stock. And one of the biggest things that bothers me, right, is when people make those sports card market cap numbers and comparisons. Every time I hear that, I get skeptical and I think to myself, someone's trying to sell me hobby advice. They're going to sell me something next, right? That's what I'm thinking automatically. And I'll point out to them, it's BS. Because if you go to Dallas, let's say you went to Dallas and you got everybody's, how many people here have a Luka Prism, to $900 or Prisms, a PSA 10 Luka Prism that was going for $900. And I said, hey, I want to buy every one of them in the room here. You think I'm buying every one of them at a top dollar price at $900? No, absolutely not. I would get them at, on a declining scale. Some people would sell me for more. Some guy might say, I'm not selling mine. You bought too many. You have too much. Whatever it means, you're not buying at a market value. You can't go out and buy the market top. I'm going to buy them all at $35 a share. No, dude, that does not happen. More likely, you're going to buy them at declining value, right? I'll buy a couple of thousand. I'll get 900, 800, whatever it might be. You're not going to get them all. That market cap stuff is just so misleading. This is not a stock market. And you'll see that in liquidity. I want to point out, I made a comment. When you look around those showcases and you look at some of these people, you think to yourself, man, these guys must be living in mansions, driving Lamborghinis, because their showcases are packed full of hundreds of thousands of dollars in cards, right? But the key here is that those cards aren't that liquid, okay? As that's why they can't sell them for these huge discounts, or they are, squeezed by the market as well. If one of them needed to go buy a house and he had to sell a couple $100,000 in cards on his showcase, he knows, we all know, he's not going to get the top market value on it, right? It's something to think about. Liquidity is hard. This is not a stock market, okay? I know some people are going to disagree with me and tell me some comments, and I look forward to that. Please, let's debate it. Come join my show. Most/majority of cards decline in value. I think this is a very important point to make. It's really no secret. Most people sit there and go, yeah, no brainer, Ziggy, I know that. But I want to stress it. Most will decline in value. Most of the rookies in each class will decline in value. Let's take an average rookie class of 10, and we know that's not the case. I think basketball is like 50, football is like 150 or something like that. Anyway, you take 10 rookies. It's very likely that 6 of them will be absolutely worthless in the future. Worth less than they were when they came out, and they might have had little value when they came out. Maybe one of those 10% will have value greater than their rookie class in the future. 10% will have greater than, let's go 20. And that, I think, is being extremely aggressive. Heck, you could even say 30%, which I don't think is even possible. But again, I want to point out that still leaves 70% that is not making money. Okay, that is why this is a business for many people. That is why many people cash out. And that is also why when you ask a guy who's in the card business about it, he's going to tell you all the great things, because he needs you to feed that machine, right? He needs your new money to feed into buying and chasing those cards. Okay, and you can do well. Some people come in, oh man, I hit a card, I'm up $20,000. Great. Understand, everything in this card game is a gamble. Everything. You're gambling on a human being's performance, their livelihood, their manners in society. And if they screw up, the value of the card can go to zero. That's a gamble. It really is. Okay, last comment I'm going to make. I've gone too long on this video. I hope you're still paying attention. Number 10, it says 5 here. Treat people the way you want to be treated. The golden rule. This is probably the most, if you remember anything of the sports card rules, do this. Do this. So when you sell a card, do you want to be buying a card at the top of the market, being the last guy got in at the highest? Do you want to be that guy? No. You want to be the guy that if the card's selling for 1,100, I got it at 1,000, or I got it 900. So treat people the way you want to be treated, okay? I'll just leave it at that. Packing. If you're packing a card, pack it the way you want to receive it, right? If you ship a card, ship it the way you want to ship it. Communicate with people the way you'd want to be communicated with. If you're one of those people who go, man, I haven't heard back from this guy, bought this card, I don't want to be shipping to me. Did you send him an email? Was it a nice email? And did you give him time to reply? Think about those things. Treat people the way you want to be treated. I do believe the hobby has a lot of good karma in it. I really do. And I do see, again, how that karma finds its way around. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for your time today. Please take a moment, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback. We need to keep these rules changing, adjust as they grow. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Appreciate your support. Did I stop?